How do you count macros for weight loss? In this video, I teach you just that with a 3-step process coming up. Okay, so the first step is you gotta be able to keep track of it with some sort of software or pen and paper. So my favorite one, and most people's favorite, is myfitnesspal because they have the most robust database of food. So that is an app that is on Apple and Android. So look up myfitnesspal, one word. That is the best app in my opinion. Fitbit also has one, and as I mentioned, you can also do classic pen and paper. But I do find it's easiest to use myfitnesspal because you can scan barcodes and just digitally keep track of it, which is awesome. If you want to learn to use myfitnesspal, I have a specific video on that. I'm gonna leave the link in the description as well as put it as an end card on the end of this video. Step 2 is going to progress you from using myfitnesspal software or whatever software you use, progressing you to learning about the foods that you are going to be eating. So I want you to scan as many barcodes as you can. Go to the grocery store. I don't even care if you're shopping there or not. Just start scanning barcodes. Look at what comes up. Sometimes things are slightly inaccurate. Most of the time they're very accurate though. But look at the carbs, look at the fat, look at the protein and the calories and just the serving sizes. Start learning. This does take time, guys, but I promise it is so worth it. It is going to empower you to control what is coming into your body so that you can lose weight effectively. Another aspect of that you can do on your couch is to actually look up things with their search feature, not just their barcode scanning feature, but they have a search feature, and that works for things that don't have barcodes like chicken breast or whatever. If you get frozen chicken breast, it still has a barcode, but you get what I mean. If you're getting fresh meat or whatever, there's 1,000 things that don't have barcodes. You can just look it up and their database usually has it. Notice that most barcodes are going to, or most foods that have a barcode are going to have a serving size on them, whether it's cups or grams or whatever. What I like to focus most on, if it has it, which is most foods, is grams, because that allows you to specifically weigh something. So for instance, a tablespoon of peanut butter is kind of tricky sometimes to measure out because there could be, you have to level it off and then you got a dirty tablespoon. It's just kind of a little bit trickier. It's not too bad. But it also has grams. Notice right to the right of the serving size of 2 tablespoons is gonna say something around 32 grams. So you need to learn to use a food scale as part of this point as well. I have a good food scale, great one, I love it. It's not too expensive at all, in the description if you don't already have one. And you simply set the peanut butter on the scale, press the tare button, which puts it back down to 0, and scoop it out until it says minus 32. Boom, you have an exact size. You didn't have to dirty a tablespoon, you didn't have to level off a tablespoon, and you know you're getting exactly what you need. Okay, so you have myfitnesspal or some software keeping track. You are now practicing scanning barcodes and looking up foods so you're learning about exactly what to put in your body and you're starting to educate yourself. Number 3 is really where it takes off because you can only eat packaged foods or single ingredient foods like chicken breast for so long. You're probably gonna want to eat recipes again. So this is where you introduce recipes. That is the 3rd point. So this point is where it really starts to get more complicated, but you can also eat anything you want. You can really start exploring foods that you can take into your body. So it is just so key for you to use this. And myfitnesspal also has a recipe feature where whenever you go into their meals and recipes, which I think is in the main menu on the right hand side of the app, you can go to create a recipe, and if you enter ingredients manually, one by one you put in all of those ingredients and it'll add them up as a total. Then you have to decide on serving size. I'm gonna give you an example of that in a second. Okay, so you have all of your ingredients in one dish. That is the total amount of calories that come in that dish. So how do you decide serving size for your own recipe? If you can cut it, like lasagna or an egg bake or pizza, whatever, if it is a solid food that you can cut, then you just simply divide it by the number of even pieces you can get. So a lasagna, you might cut it in half long ways and then put 2 cuts vertically, and you end up with 6 slices, and that'll divide it into 6 even portions because you're just eyeballing the portions. If you can't cut it, like chili or soup or something like that, obviously you can't cut that and leave it into an even slice. So what I do is I put a big bowl, so I have my pot of chili, I put a big bowl on the food scale that I mentioned in the last tip. I put all of the chili, I'm just using that as an example, into the bowl. Let's say it comes out to 2,000 grams because I was weighing it on that food scale. So it comes out to 2,000 grams and I want 10 meals out of this. So you take 2,000 divided by 10, so every 200 grams is going to be a serving. You know exactly what your serving is. It always comes out a few grams different. I don't know why, maybe it's the chili that's left on the side of the bowl or whatever. But you're getting really close to your recipe being an exact match. And then from there on out, you just literally search up Aaron's chili. MyFitnessPal pops it up for me, and I put it in, and I actually log that food. If you are new around here, all I do is talk about the fight against obesity. So if you're in the middle of that fight, consider sticking around and subscribing, because I promise with the right education, you're gonna win. Now that you know how to track your macros, you need to know how many macros of each to eat in order to lose weight. I'm gonna give you that in this video right here, so make sure to keep your education up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.